Hello everyone, my name is Rahul. In the previous video, we had discussed about cell theory. In this video, we are going to have a brief overview about cell. The first cell was discovered by a scientist named as Robert Hooke, who discovered cells in cork tissue of plants. He wrote a book. He wrote a book called as Micrographia, in which he discussed about various types of cork cells seen in different plants. The first living cell was discovered by Anton von Leeuwenhoek. The first living cell was discovered by Anton von Leeuwenhoek. Nolan Ruska during 1960s they invented the electron microscope. So the invention of electron microscope made the study of ultrastructure of cell possible. Now, depending upon the number of cells in the body, organisms can be divided into two groups. The first group is known as unicellular organisms, and the other group is known as multicellular organisms. In unicellular organisms, there is a single cell represents the body. These unicellular organisms, they are capable of independent existence. That is, the cell is able to perform all of its functions that are required to sustain a living state. In multicellular organisms, there are many cells in the body, and there is division of labor between various types of cells. That is, various cells in the form of various tissues, they perform different functions. So any structure lesser than the structure of cell is not capable of independent existence. So the smallest unit of life which can show the presence of independent existence, which can exist independently, is cell. Therefore, cell is known as structural and functional unit of life. Structural because all living beings are made up of cells. Functional because all the metabolic reactions, they take place inside the cell. Now, cells have a plasma membrane. Inside the membrane, the space is filled by a semi-solid gelatinous material. Space is filled by a semi-solid gelatinous material which is known as cytoplasm. This cytoplasm, it is the main arena for all the metabolic reactions that are required to sustain a living state. To sustain a living state, all those metabolic reactions that are required, they take place inside the cytoplasm. This is present in both eukaryotes and prokaryotes. Plasma membrane and cytoplasm are seen in both prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Pro means old or ancient. The word karyo means nucleus. U means true, and again the word karyo means nucleus. So all those organisms which have a well-defined nucleus, they are termed as eukaryotes, and those that do not have a well-defined nucleus are termed as prokaryotes. Prokaryotes do not have membrane-bound organelles such as mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, etc. And there is no well-defined nucleus, which is why they are perhaps known as prokaryotes. Nucleus was discovered nucleus was discovered by Robert Brown. Robert Brown was the scientist who discovered nucleus. Now, size and shape of cell. This is highly variable. Cells can be very large, cells can be of very small size. For example, a typical bacteria is usually 1 to 2 micrometer in size. PPLO, which is mycoplasma, it is about 0.1 micrometer in size. Viruses, although they are not considered as cellular beings, are 0.02 to zero point 0.2 microns in size. And a typical eukaryotic cell, it is around 10 to 20 microns in size. Now the shape varies. For example, RBCs or the red blood cells, they have a biconcave shape in human beings. White blood cells, WBCs, they are amoeboid, that is, they do not have a very particular shape. Nerve cells, they are branched and long. They are round or oval. Now, the largest largest isolated single cell is that of an ostrich egg. So ostrich egg, it is considered as a single cell, and it is the largest isolated cell. The smallest cell is mycoplasma. Although viruses are smaller than mycoplasma, but since viruses are not considered to be living things and they are considered to be acellular, therefore the smallest cell is that of a mycoplasma. The longest cell is a neuron or a nerve cell. Neuron or a nerve cell. So with this, we finish off with our discussion on a brief overview of cell. See you in next video.